Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to do part 2 on calculating percentage of numbers for the grade 8 math classes. And again, we're going to focus on using strategies that don't simply require using a calculator, but instead trying to do as much as we can on our own, cognitively challenging ourselves to kind of build that understanding of percentages. And so for the first example, we'll have 85% of 220. Now I'll remind you that we can always convert our percentage to a decimal. So 85% would become 0.85 and then multiply by the number itself. And so if you want to try that out just to make sure we have the right answer before we get going, feel free to do so. I recommend using the strategies to check your work to make sure you're always on the right track. However, I'm going to try to encourage you guys not to rely on that strategy too heavily because there's not much cognitive demand on it. Rather, I want to try to break it down in a way that actually lets us build our understanding. So for 85%, we're going to break it down into more manageable chunks and then calculate those chunks one at a time. 85% happens to break down nicely into 80% plus 5% of 220, right? And then we can break down 80% into 8 times 10% and then still have plus 5%. Properly writing it out of 220. Now, 10% of the number is always easy to calculate, especially if that number ends in a 0. 10% of 220 is clearly 22. Now, the reason 5% is also so easy to find if we have 10% is because 5% naturally is always half of 10%. And so, if our 10% of 220 happens to be 22, 5% would be half of that, giving us 11. And now, to finish off, we just have to pay attention to our order operations. And so we'll do the multiplication first. 8 times 22 brings us to 176 plus the 11. And so our final answer will be 187. Now, if you want to check that off with a calculator, I highly recommend doing so. That should give us the same answer. And this, again, is a wonderful way of checking your work to make sure you're on the right track. Again, if this is too confusing at the start, and you want to use this method, like, I think it's okay, but I'm encouraging you to do as much as you can on your own, working out those cognitive muscles as much as you can, okay? So, that's number 1 done. Number 2 will be a tiny bit trickier. We have 113%. So, I'm going to break this down a tiny bit differently. First off, just to kind of get a ballpark of where the answer should lie, this is a percentage that is greater than 100%. Right? We're looking at 113%, a little bit more than 100%. So the answer should be bigger than 42 itself, because 100% of 42 is 42, so this should be a little bit more. So I'm going to write 113% as the sum of 100% plus 10% plus 3 times 1%. I'm going to finish that 3% as 3 times 1%. Okay? Now the reason being is powers of 10 are really easy to work with typically. 100% of 42 is straightforward enough, 42. Next up, 10% of 42, we simply bring the decimal over one place for 10%, and so that gives us 4.2. And then to finish off, that 1% is going to be one more decimal place to the left. So since 10% of 42 was 4.2, 1% will be one place further to the left, bringing us to 0.42. And let's not forget to have 3 times that amount. Now again, going one step at a time, we have addition, and multiplication. Our order of operations still matter. So we have 42 plus 4.2 plus 3 times 0.42. Feel free to use a calculator for something like this, or if you want to practice doing that mentally, I encourage you to do so. 3 times 0.42 gives us 1.26. Sorry, that's a point. I'm used to French here. 1.26, and likewise here. I'm used to commas for decimal places. And now, putting those all together, in the end, we can do all 3 additions, all 2 additions, I should say, in one step. 42 plus 4.2 plus 1.26 brings us 47 points, not 0.46. And here is our final answer. If you want to check that, we can always, as we did up here, convert our percentage to a decimal. Our percentage for our 113% we'll convert to 1.13 as a decimal, and then we multiply by our number, so 1.13 times 42. If we want to check that using your calculator, should give us the exact same answer of 47.46. So again, two strategies that always give us the same answer in the end. However, I do encourage you guys to do as much as you can on your own. That way you're really building those connections in your brain, okay? Again, I really hope this helps. If you guys want to see anything different, if you have any requests for future videos, please leave a comment down below. I will do my best. I hope this helps, and have a great day.